10 clear signs you both like each other. Old Stoic wisdom. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Seneca. Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and felt the world pause for just a second? That quiet stillness where everything else fades? No words, just a shared look, a smile, and an unspoken pull that draws you closer. You might tell yourself it's nothing, but deep down, something's happening. The truth psychology tells us there are unmistakable signs, 10, in fact, that suggest two people are silently drawn to one another, even if nothing's been said aloud. You may have asked yourself, is it just me? Or do they feel it too? You're not imagining it. Attraction isn't always fireworks and grand gestures. In fact, most of the time, it's quiet. It's found in the way someone mirrors your body language, how they lean in without noticing, or the way your jokes always land a little too well with just one person in the room. Today, we're diving into those moments, the little things that often say more than words ever could. By the end, you'll be able to spot these signs clearly and perhaps finally trust what your instincts have been whispering all along. Let's get into it. Sign 1. Magnetic eye contact. Don't underestimate the power of a look. When a man with an iron mind meets a woman who stirs something deep within, the very first sign isn't a grand gesture. It's the eyes. Magnetic eye contact doesn't lie, doesn't pretend, doesn't need explanation. That moment when your gaze locks with hers, and neither of you flinches, time freezes, noise fades, the rest of the world melts into the background. That's not just chemistry. That's a message from the soul. And make no mistake, the old Stoic wisdom knew it. The eyes don't just observe, they declare. That lingering look, even if it's just a split second too long, is a silent truth screaming to be heard. When she smiles and you smile back, without a single word, it's not just cute, it's ancient. It's the kind of silent understanding the Stoic principles would tip their hat to. Be wise, be still, notice it. A woman's eyes will speak when her lips won't. She may glance away with a smile, like she's hiding a spark she's not yet ready to show. But that spark is real, and it's mutual. Don't brush it off. Don't rationalize it away. That electric pull in her gaze isn't imagination. It's biology, backed by the gods of dopamine and centuries of silent courtship. That pleasure you feel. That's your brain's reward center, lighting up like a Roman bonfire. Old warriors knew it. The iron mind doesn't flinch under the weight of emotion. It understands it, respects it, and still keeps its spine straight. You must not be fooled by words or distracted by noise. Look at how she looks at you. It's in the pause, the stillness, the unspoken dare. Old Stoic wisdom teaches us to observe calmly, without judgment, but with fierce clarity. If your eyes are locking, unlocking, and locking again in a quiet dance of glances, there's more at play than simple politeness. There's interest, there's tension, and possibly the start of something meaningful. Don't look away too fast. Don't linger too long either. Feel it, recognize it, but let the mystery breathe. The Stoic principles remind us to master ourselves before we attempt to master others. So be the steady one. Be calm in the current. When you see her gaze searching yours, meeting it with equal intensity and then pulling away with that subtle, almost embarrassed grin. That's not a chance. That's emotional gravity. That's the universe saying, look closer. Don't chase it. Don't force it. Just know what it means. This is the language of connection, built on centuries of human nature and carved into us by time itself. And only the wise, those trained by old Stoic wisdom, grounded in Stoic principles and tempered with an iron mind, can recognize it for. Sign 2. Mirroring each other's body language. Don't shrug this off as random. When two people begin to mirror each other, crossing arms at the same time, leaning in with shared curiosity, shifting posture like reflections in glass, it's not a chance, it's a connection. That's the unspoken dance of two minds tuning into the same frequency, and it's one of the clearest signs that something real is happening. This is called mirroring, and it's not just psychological jargon. It's nature's way of saying, hey, I feel safe here. I'm in sync with this person. You move, they move, you laugh, they chuckle in your rhythm, you scratch your chin, and 30 seconds later, they're doing the same without even realizing it. That's not mimicry. That's chemistry at work in the body before the heart dares to speak. The ancients didn't have neuroscience, but they knew the truth of it. Practical Stoicism teaches us to observe quietly, but act deliberately. When a woman mirrors your movements, that's the body's way of admitting something the mouth hasn't yet dared to voice. And the Stoic rules remind us signs matter more than words. This chameleon effect, as psychologists call it, isn't about copying. It's about bonding. Our brains light up with mirror neurons, tiny messengers that echo the emotions of the people we're tuned into. It's empathy in action, a subconscious handshake, the body's nod to trust. That's the power of presence. That's how rapport is born. So don't ignore it, and don't overthink it. Just notice that moment when you lean on the table, and a heartbeat later, she does the same. That's not performance. That's her saying, I'm here with you. And when you sit back and she mirrors that move with a soft smile, that's her telling you, I feel understood. Stoic rules teach us to pay attention to the little things, not obsessively, but wisely. The Stoics believed in observing reality as it is, not as we want it to be. So when this mirroring begins to unfold, don't brush it off like small talk. That's body talk. That's emotional fluency. That's an attraction brewing beneath the surface, where logic can't always reach. You must see it for what it is. Signs of mutual openness, comfort, and emotional attunement. The Stoics didn't chase after what wasn't real, and neither should you. But they also didn't ignore what was right in front of them. So next time you notice the two of you moving in unison, breathing in the same tempo, sipping drinks like you've rehearsed it, know this, it's not a performance, it's presence, and it's powerful. Be the man who sees it, be the man who knows it, and above all, be the man who respects it. Because practical Stoicism isn't about being cold or distant, it's about being real, centered, and calm enough to recognize when something meaningful is unfolding, even if it's just in the way someone tilts their head when you tilt yours. Don't ignore the dance. Join it gracefully. If you found this insight meaningful, hit that like button, share it with a man who trusts in silent signs, and don't forget to subscribe for more Old Stoic wisdom and practical Stoicism for everyday life. Comment to remember, I recognize connection through calm awareness. This affirmation anchors the power of presence, observation, and emotional clarity, just as the Stoics would have wanted. Now go be the mirror that reflects confidence. Sign 3. Inside jokes in private language. When two souls begin to share a language only they understand, something powerful is happening. This is not a coincidence. This is not mere amusement. This is the beginning of a deep, private alliance forged by trust, mutual understanding, and a spark that outsiders cannot interpret. It's a territory where laughter becomes a code, where certain words hold weight no dictionary can explain. That is intimacy. That is bonding. That is the signal you're walking together along the paths of wisdom. Inside jokes, private phrases, shared smirks, these aren't child's play. They are emotional currency. In a world full of noise, these moments are silence that speaks volumes. The ancient Stoics, men of mastery and insight, would recognize this as a sign not just of affection, but of harmony. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality, said Seneca, but shared language dissolves fear and draws two minds closer. It shows you are becoming safe in each other's presence. That's rare. That's sacred. You must understand this level of connection is a win, a Stoic win. It means you've begun building a fortress of mutual trust, and you've crafted the keys together. Only you two can unlock its gates. Epictetus taught, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you. Pay attention. If someone laughs with you at your inside jokes, if they remember the silly phrase you made up weeks ago, If their eyes light up at a reference only the two of you understand, that's not light-heartedness, that's loyalty. That's a sign they see you, not just the outer man, but your inner architecture. Don't ignore these signals. Don't let modern distractions pull you away from real human connection. Don't settle for shallow chatter. Instead, lean in, embrace the silence between the lines, guard it, cultivate it, because shared symbolic communication isn't just about humour, it's about depth. It means you've built something only the two of you own. It's your private universe. In a noisy world, it's peaceful. In a crowded room, it's intimacy. In a lifetime of passing faces, it's recognition. Let's face the truth squarely, most people never get this. They live on the surface, chasing approval, performing roles, but the Stoic man, you seek substance, you seek real, you seek the paths of wisdom, and when you find someone willing to step into that path with you, hand in hand, voice in voice, joke in joke, you don't walk away, you go deeper, you honour it. Don't let ego ruin it. Don't fear vulnerability. Be the man who understands the hidden meaning in a laugh, who values shared language as the foundation of closeness. Be the one who stands strong not just in silence, but in the spoken codes that define real companionship. This is the Stoic way. This is how you win, not with loud gestures, but with quiet moments that echo, not with crowds, but with connection, not with conquest, but with understanding. Laugh, yes. Joke, yes. But know what it means. It means you've stepped into something powerful, something rare, something worthy. You are no longer alone. You are no longer wandering. You're building something real, something sacred, one phrase at a time. This is the Epictetus truth. This is your instruction. This is your moment. Sign 4. Subtle touches. Don't underestimate the power of a passing touch, a hand that brushes yours, not by accident, but with quiet intention, a gentle tap on your arm when she laughs, a playful shove when the joke lands. These aren't flukes. They're signals. You must learn to read them like an old general reading the wind before battle. Physical contact, when unforced and frequent, is one of the clearest signs that the spark isn't just in your mind. It's dancing in the air between you both. That light graze may seem harmless, but it stirs something ancient in the brain. Oxytocin kicks in. That's the bonding chemical. It doesn't shout, it whispers. You're safe here. You're trusted. Stay. Old Stoic wisdom tells us to observe with calm clarity, to never chase illusions. But when her fingers linger a second too long, or she leans just a little closer than needed, that's not illusion, it's intention. Be aware. Be still. Respond without overreaching. A man with an iron mind doesn't lunge forward blindly. He notices. He acknowledges. Then he lets the moment breathe. You see, Stoic principles don't ask you to be cold or distant. They ask you to be present, emotionally anchored. Don't confuse restraint with apathy, attraction, especially the kind that brews over slow-burning moments, lives in these micro-gestures. A soft nudge here, a teasing touch there. She's not testing your patience, she's testing your presence. If you recoil or ignore, you miss the moment. If you overreact, you break the spell. But if you meet that energy with steady calm and a hint of knowing charm, you've just passed her unspoken test. That's Stoic seduction, not through loud moves, but through silent confidence. And let's not kid ourselves. At your age, you know this isn't about some hormonal teenage chase. This is about connection, depth, compatibility. She's not just brushing against you for the thrill. She's seeing if the chemistry flows in both directions. It's instinctive, primal, and frankly, beautiful. But don't get it twisted. These subtle touches are not invitations to pounce. They are calls to attune. The man who succeeds here is the one who listens with his skin, feels without flinching, and responds with elegant control. That is the hallmark of the iron mind. The man who lives by Stoic principles doesn't rush to claim. He reads the signs, honours the rhythm, and knows when to stay poised. These moments are fleeting. Miss them, and you might never get another. but embrace them with old Stoic wisdom guiding your gut, and you'll find yourself building more than attraction. You'll build mutual respect, curiosity, and emotional safety. That's the foundation of something real. So, the next time your hands accidentally touch or her palm rests on your knee for just a second longer than necessary, don't be the fool who shrugs it off, and don't be the fool who jumps the gun. Be the man who notices. Be the man who's present. Be the man with the calm gaze and quiet smile who says more by doing less. That's the strength behind subtlety. That's the message in the touch. That, my friend, is the silent language of true attraction, whispered in skin, measured in restraint, and understood by those who live with old Stoic wisdom at their side. If you found value in this, like the video, share it with a fellow thinker, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights grounded in old Stoic wisdom. Every interaction matters, just like those subtle touches. Now, it's your turn. Comment below to lock it into your mindset. Comment to remember. I respond with presence, not impulse. Let that be your daily reminder of how a man guided by Stoic principles reads between the lines and never misses the silent signs of real connection. Sign 5. They remember the little things and you do too. You offhandedly mention that you like salted almonds. Just once. You weren't fishing for a reaction. Maybe it slipped out while you were talking about road trip snacks or sharing stories over coffee. You didn't think anything of it. But then, next time you meet, boom, there's a little bag of salted almonds on the table like it's nothing, like they just happened to remember. But here's the truth that's no accident. That's emotional salience. That's the mind tagging something small, ordinary, seemingly insignificant, as important, because it came from you. This isn't about snacks. It's about attention. When someone likes you, truly likes you, they don't need reminders or calendars or sticky notes. Their brain does the filing automatically. Your voice has gravity. Your preferences, your quirks, your offhand remarks, they stick, even when you're not trying to be memorable. And if you catch yourself doing the same for them, smiling when you remember their go-to coffee order, or mentally saving their birthday, even though they never made a big deal of it, that's a mutual spark. You're not just listening, you're tuned in. Old soldiers of practical stoicism will tell you attention is affection made visible, not in grand gestures, but in small consistencies. Stoic rules don't care for flattery or showy declarations. They value action, observation. You must be still enough to notice and steady enough to act. So don't underestimate the weight of small things. When someone brings up a story you told 2 weeks ago, or recalls how you take your bourbon, that's intimacy, not coincidence. And that kind of awareness that doesn't grow out of boredom, it grows out of care. You see, the iron mind trained by Stoic rules pays close attention, not because it needs to impress, but because it chooses to honour the other. There's a kind of slow, intentional beauty in that. To remember without effort, to offer without asking. That's how people who matter treat people who matter. No fanfare, no flashing neon lights, just a quiet showing up, again and again, in the little things. Don't be fooled by the world screaming that only grand gestures count. A man grounded in practical stoicism knows better. He knows that bringing someone their favourite snack is not about the almonds. It's about being seen, about having someone silently say, "I remember you," without ever needing to speak the words. That is not just a sign of affection. That is a whisper of something deeper. Connection. Mutual emotional investment. Real interest. Laced with intention. So the next time you catch yourself remembering her favourite band, or she brings up that story you told about fishing with your old man, don't brush it off. That's a thread tying your lives together. A thread that says, "I noticed. I cared enough to hold on to it." And that, my friend, is worth more than 1,000 likes or flirty texts. That's real. That's rare. And according to the old Stoic rules, it's exactly what you should be paying attention to. Sign 6. Awkwardness and nervous energy. Don't misread the jitters. Don't dismiss the stumbles in your speech The fidgeting, the sudden laughter that feels just a little too loud. That awkwardness is not weakness. It's proof of something deeper. You're usually composed, measured, deliberate, but when you're around her, you feel off balance. That's not failure. That's a signal. It means the moment matters. It means she matters. Nervous energy isn't random. It's a biological flare set off by emotional investment. You don't stumble for just anyone. And if you both find yourselves oddly clumsy, oddly careful, oddly watchful, then understand. This isn't coincidence. It's chemistry. It's mutual tension. It's the quiet electricity of two minds trying to hide what the body has already revealed. You must learn to read it. You must not dismiss it. The awkwardness is the battlefield before clarity. Own it. In the paths of wisdom, this energy isn't something to fear. It's something to observe. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." When awkwardness strikes, don't retreat. Watch, study. See how she fidgets when you speak. Notice how your voice shifts when she enters the room. These are not flaws. These are clues. This is how Stoicism wins, not by suppressing emotion, but by mastering it. You're not losing control. You're recognizing value. You're not crumbling. You're sensing potential. That nervous edge, it's the weight of what could be. Let's stop pretending that confidence means never feeling off-center. Real strength is knowing when something matters and staying grounded anyway. That unease around her, it's a sign that your soul is alert, that your instincts are awake. It's not weakness, it's warfare. A man who walks the paths of wisdom knows that tension is the prelude to transformation. That nervousness is not to be avoided, but conquered. You want to master life. Start by mastering the moment. You want Stoicism to win. Then stop hiding from your own tells and start owning them. Awkwardness is not the enemy. Fear of meaning is, let's be absolutely clear, if you both seem different around each other, less smooth, more raw, more human, it's because something real is trying to surface. That matters. That means you're alive. That means this isn't just casual. It's charged. Don't run from it. Don't downplay it. Recognize it. Respond to it. Turn it into power. This is your sign. This is your edge. This is your chance to act like a man who understands that deep connections don't come with certainty. They come with risk. They come with vulnerability. They come with nerves. And the man who can feel that energy and still stand firm, that man walks the paths of wisdom. That man hears Epictetus whisper through time, telling him that the only way out is through. That man doesn't fold under pressure. He sharpens. Awkwardness is the fire. Nervous energy is the signal. Mutual tension is the truth beneath the mask. Don't let your ego blur what your instincts already know. You're both more invested than you're ready to admit. That's not a problem. That's the prize. Now act like it. Stand tall in the storm. Let Stoicism win. Let the silence speak. Let the awkwardness reveal the truth. Don't retreat. Don't flinch. You're on the edge of something real. Feel the nerves. Read the signs. Walk the path. Let wisdom guide you. Let Stoicism win. If this hit home, like the video, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more timeless insight. Awkwardness isn't weakness. It's a signal. Don't ignore it. Comment to remember. Awkwardness means it matters. Lean into the moment. Sign 7. They find reasons to be around you and you do too. Let's not kid ourselves. When a man with an iron mind starts noticing a familiar face showing up a little too often, it's not chance, it's design. That coffee shop coincidence, the shared event, the unexpected seat next to yours at the lunch counter. It's all proximity seeking. That's the ancient dance of interest, alive and well even in our modern world. Don't ignore the signal. This isn't some random social fluke. It's a basic human instinct. People gravitate toward what they want. And when someone keeps orbiting your day, weaving themselves into your hours, it's not about errands or errands run long. It's about you. It's about the quiet pull of connection. That magnetic thread tying your timelines together again and again. Old Stoic wisdom tells us a man is not shaped by events, but by his response to them. So what's your move when she keeps showing up? Shrug it off. No. Be awake. Be aware. Because when she starts slipping into your daily rhythm like a well-placed note in your favourite song, you must ask, do I want her there? And if the answer is yes, if you find yourself lingering longer at the gym or looping the aisles at the grocery store just in case you bump into her again, well, that's not just curiosity. That's chemistry in motion. That's mutual interest, hiding in plain sight. Don't miss it. Don't be fooled by subtlety. The old Stoics taught us to read the world with a clear eye, to strip emotion from the signal so we can see what is. Stoic principles demand we observe, not overthink. That's the secret. You're not looking for fireworks. You're noticing a pattern. That steady repetition, that familiar face, that shared smile that says, here we are again. It's all part of nature's little code. Attraction rarely announces itself with fanfare. It shows up in repetition, in rhythm, in a reasonless presence. And don't overlook yourself in this equation. If your feet lead you to where she is, if your gut says, go, and your mind doesn't argue, you're not just drifting through life, you're following a pulse, an instinct. That's not a weakness, that's awareness. That's what a man with an iron mind does. He notices. He owns his intent. He doesn't play dumb. He sees her showing up again and again, and he makes a choice, engage or step back. But don't stand still and pretend it's all just coincidence. That's not stoic. That's naive. Be deliberate. That's the point. The old Stoic wisdom doesn't teach us to deny connection. It teaches us to master our role within it. So when someone keeps finding a reason to be near you, and you keep letting it happen, no, scratch that. You want it to happen? Then take the hint. It's not a mistake. It's a message. A real one. Mutual attraction doesn't always scream. Sometimes it hums. A quiet vibration in the air between you. Subtle, persistent, real. Don't wait for lightning. Notice the pattern. Respect the pull. And above all, act like a man who knows what it means. That's how you live by Stoic principles. With clarity, with calm, with quiet strength. Recognize when someone's drawn to your orbit. And if your heart answers back, then for heaven's sake, meet them there. Sign 8. Deep, uninterrupted conversations. Time vanishes. Hours pass like minutes. You start with, how was your day? And somehow, without noticing, you're knee-deep in childhood memories, old scars, secret dreams, and fears you haven't shared with anyone in years. That, my friend, is not small talk. That's a doorway, a signal, a deep sign that something rare is unfolding. This isn't chatter, it's connection. That's what relationship fluidity looks like. When words pour out like a river, not because you're trying, but because you no longer need to try. Don't ignore this. Don't reduce it to coincidence. When the walls come down, when you both stop editing your thoughts before speaking, that's trust. That's emotional alignment. That's what practical Stoicism calls an unforced bond, a moment of genuine human contact where pretenses die and the truth stands up on its own. According to Stoic rules, the highest form of strength is to know yourself and to let another person see that knowing. No masks, no bravado. Just you and her, talking like it's the most natural thing in the world, because it is. The Stoics didn't write about dating. No, but they did write about clarity, about truth, about intimacy that begins first in the mind. Seneca once said, "One of the most beautiful qualities of true friendship is to understand and to be understood." And what is romantic attraction, if not the earliest stage of friendship catching fire when conversation flows? You're no longer just two people talking. You're two minds meeting, aligning, trusting. Be sharp, be observant. You don't talk about the weather for 4 hours. You don't drift from childhood trauma to spiritual beliefs unless something in your soul says, I feel safe here. That's your sign. And if you both feel it, if the dialogue opens up and stays open, then don't dismiss it. Don't fall asleep at the wheel. That's the gold. It's not in candlelit dinners or fancy text messages. It's in the raw, real, unscripted words that show up when you least expect them. Think of it like this. Most people in your life get the surface, the headlines, but these uninterrupted conversations, that's the full article. That's the backstory. That's the hard stuff people usually hide. If she's sharing it, and you're sharing it back, that means the armor is off. And according to the Stoic rules, vulnerability isn't weakness. It's strength used wisely. It's knowing who you are and being brave enough to share it anyway. Don't just listen to her stories. Hear them. Don't nod along. Engage. Respond with your own truths. When your conversation starts sounding like something that belongs in a journal or memoir, you're not just getting to know her, you're becoming known by her. That's emotional intimacy. That's a Stoic connection in action. And that, gentlemen, is the soil where something real begins to grow. So if you find yourself glancing at the clock, only to realize 3 hours slipped by like smoke, don't brush it off. Be intentional. Understand what just happened. Because in a world full of noise, deep conversation is the rarest music. It's the silence between the notes where understanding lives. Follow practical stoicism. Pay attention to what feels effortless. Be present in those moments. Don't take them for granted. That ease you're feeling, that rhythm, that's a sign, not luck, but of compatibility, of chemistry, of two people moving through time without checking the time. That's not just talking. That's the connection with gravity. And that, my friend, is worth every minute. Sign 9. Jealous reactions, even subtle ones. Jealousy. It's raw, real, and revealing. When a man or woman shifts ever so slightly, changes tone, tightens the jaw, goes quiet, after you mention someone else, that is not just coincidence. That is emotional investment. That is attachment peeking through a mask of restraint. It's one of the clearest signs you both like each other, even if neither of you admits it yet. Jealousy, even in its most subtle form, betrays the heart's deeper longing. The ancient Stoics knew the power of what's unsaid. Epictetus once said, "We are not disturbed by things, but by the view which we take of them." What that means in modern life is simple when someone reacts, even silently, to your closeness with others. It's not just about what happened, it's about how much they care. Their emotional lens has you in focus. This is not weakness. It's human nature filtered through the soul's desire. Let's be honest. In today's world, emotional signals are often buried beneath sarcasm, distraction, and digital noise. But body language doesn't lie. Silence doesn't lie. A sudden withdrawal or shift in tone speaks volumes. You must learn to read between the lines. You must learn to feel what isn't being said. Don't dismiss those little moments. Don't ignore the subtle signs. Those brief flickers of jealousy reveal the truth that words often cannot. They show that someone sees you as valuable, as desired, as someone worth guarding. That's the kind of emotional depth you can't fake. And that's exactly where the paths of wisdom lead us, toward recognition of what matters most beneath the surface. Jealousy, in the Stoic sense, is not about ownership. It's about presence. It's about significance. The moment someone fears losing you, even slightly, they are admitting, without saying a word, that you matter, that your presence changes the balance in their heart. And in the game of human connection, that is a win. Let's be clear, jealousy doesn't have to be loud to be real. A brief glance, a change in posture, a question that masks concern. These are signals. You must become fluent in emotional intelligence. You must train your perception like a warrior of the mind. As Marcus Aurelius advised, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. So when someone can't say how they feel, but they show it, you've got your answer. Recognize it. Respect it. React with courage. Don't play games. Don't provoke just to test someone. That is immaturity, not mastery. A man on the paths of wisdom doesn't need drama to understand depth. He sees it. He knows it. He acts on it with clarity and purpose. This is where Stoicism wins, because it teaches us to look beyond the obvious, to observe without being blinded by desire, to feel without being ruled by impulse. When someone reacts to your presence in a room, to your attention drifting to someone else, that is a testament to your impact. You have touched a nerve. You have become part of their internal world. That is power. That is proof. And that is where victory begins. So stand tall. Own your role. Don't chase validation. Let it come to you through the quiet truths others can't help but show. Let Stoicism win in your life, not by suppressing emotion, but by mastering it. Let Epictetus guide your insight. Let the paths of wisdom carve your journey forward. You are not here to guess. You are here to know. You are here to win. If this resonated with you, like the video, drop a comment, and share it with a friend who needs a dose of old Stoic wisdom. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights grounded in practical Stoicism and real human connection. Comment to remember: subtle jealousy speaks louder than words. Sign 10, the energy shift. Here's something you must understand. Energy doesn't lie. When two souls are aligned, when there's a mutual current pulsing between you both, the air around you crackles just a bit differently. You walk into the room with the weight of the world on your shoulders, and the moment you see them, it's gone. Not because your problems disappeared, but because their presence recharged your spirit. That's not a coincidence. That's emotional synchronization. And it's one of the clearest signs that you both like each other. It's not about fireworks or poetic glances. It's about how your energy shifts. You feel lighter. Your thoughts quiet down. Your mood rises like the morning sun. That is the body's way of saying, this is good for us. You must listen. Old Stoic wisdom reminds us, don't chase the fleeting. Be alert to what endures. Lust can scream, but true mutual attraction, it hums, it balances, it builds. This kind of connection doesn't wear you out. It sharpens you. It doesn't leave you drained like an empty tank. It fuels you like fire in the forge. That's because mutual chemistry isn't just emotional. It's chemical, physical, and yes, even spiritual. It's the same principle a seasoned Stoic would apply to all relationships. Ask yourself, does this person bring me closer to my ideal state? Do I feel more grounded, more alive, more me? If the answer is yes, then stay awake. That energy isn't an accident. It's a sign. It's an alignment of two iron minds finding rare harmony. And when Stoic principles meet emotional connection, that's when you truly begin to feel without losing your center. Don't ignore it. That good mood after seeing them, that sudden surge of optimism, that's your inner compass, recognizing emotional equilibrium. Now, be careful, because not all attention is good for you. The wrong people can give you a rush too, but it's more like caffeine and less like oxygen. It jolts, then it crashes. Stoic wisdom teaches us not to fall for what dazzles, but to respect what sustains. When it's real, it's quiet. It isn't demand. It isn't confusing. It just is. It's in the way your mind feels clearer after the conversation. It's how you sleep easier after the time together. It's in how you suddenly see solutions instead of problems. That is a genuine energetic exchange where you don't have to perform, pretend, or prove. You just show up, and both of you walk away a little more whole. Don't chase butterflies. Follow the wind that lifts you. This sign, this energy shift, isn't some fluffy daydream. It's your body whispering truths that the mind is too distracted to hear. When the energy is mutual, you know, and if you don't know, then it probably isn't. Stoic principles teach us to trust experience over illusion, to measure the effect a person has on our inner peace. So measure this. Do you feel more like yourself after being with them? Do you smile more, breathe easier, stand taller? Then the answer is right in front of you. That, my friend, is the shift. And it's not just a sign, it's a revelation. Stay alert, stay wise, and let the iron mind in you recognize when the energy is real. Because when you've both felt it, you don't need to talk about it. You both just know. So there you have it, 10 clear signs you both like each other, plus that powerful twist. Which sign hit home for you the most? Or have you noticed one that wasn't on the list? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts and stories. If this helped, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need a little clarity. Don't forget to subscribe, because there's plenty more coming on love, attraction, and the psychology behind it all. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Here's my final bit of advice. If you're noticing these signs, don't overthink it. Just enjoy the connection and stay grounded. Like the old Stoics believed, true understanding comes from awareness, not anxiety. So trust what you see, not just what you fear. Take care, be kind to yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.